Good evening, and welcome to a journey through the heart of American history. Settle in, relax, and let the soothing sounds of my voice guide you through the lives and legacies of the first 18 presidents of the United States. Tonight, we embark on a fascinating exploration, a chronological adventure that will unravel the complexities, the triumphs, and even the occasional missteps of the men who shaped the very foundation of this nation. We'll be traversing nearly a century of American history, from the nascent days of the Republic to the burgeoning expansion of its power and influence. Each president, a unique character etched into the tapestry of time, will reveal themselves to us through their stories, their decisions, and their indelible marks on the American landscape. This isn't just a recitation of dates and facts. It's a narrative, a human story woven from ambition, courage, compromise, and the enduring spirit of a nation finding its footing in a world teeming with uncertainty. Imagine yourself stepping back in time, witnessing firsthand the debates that raged in the halls of Congress, the anxieties that gripped the nation during times of war and peace, the hopes and dreams that fueled the tireless efforts of these early leaders. We'll delve into their personal lives, exploring their upbringing, their families, and the experiences that shaped their worldviews. We'll uncover the intricate web of political maneuvering, the challenging economic realities, and the social transformations that defined their presidencies. This is a journey designed for those seeking a calming, informative, and engaging way to unwind. Let the historical details wash over you, allowing the rich tapestry of American history to soothe your mind and lull you into a peaceful slumber. Each meticulously researched story is crafted to be both enlightening and relaxing, a gentle guide to understanding the formative years of the United States through the lens of its remarkable leaders. We'll begin with the monumental figure of George Washington, the father of our nation, whose leadership during the Revolutionary War and his subsequent presidency laid the groundwork for the future of American democracy. We'll witness his struggles to establish a new nation, his unwavering commitment to the principles of liberty and self-governance, and the challenges he faced in forging a unified nation from 13 disparate colonies. We'll explore his legacy, a legacy that continues to inspire and challenge us even today. From there, we will journey through the presidencies of John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and James Monroe, each a pivotal figure in the early development of the Republic. We will examine their contributions to the Constitution, their roles in shaping the nation's foreign policy, and the debates that defined their eras. We'll uncover the complexities of their personal lives, their political rivalries, and their lasting influence on the course of American history. The narrative will then continue through the era of John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, James K. Polk, Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, and Abraham Lincoln. Each presidency presents a unique chapter in the American story, a blend of progress and conflict, of triumphs and setbacks, of vision and compromise. We'll explore the expansion of the nation westward, the rise of sectionalism, the escalating tensions over slavery, and the cataclysmic events that led to the Civil War. These were men of immense talent, profound ambition, and deeply flawed humanity. We'll examine their strengths and weaknesses, their successes and failures, their triumphs and their tragedies. We will analyze their leadership styles, their political strategies, and their impact on the lives of ordinary Americans. Our approach will be one of historical accuracy and empathetic understanding, recognizing the complexities of their lives and their presidencies within the context of their times. This isn't merely a list of names and dates. It's a detailed exploration of the lives, decisions, and legacies of the men who shaped the destiny of the United States. We will delve into the socio-political climate of each era, examining the key events and movements that influence the presidency of each man. We will uncover the intricate interplay between domestic and foreign policy, and the challenges these early leaders faced in navigating the complexities of a rapidly changing world. By understanding the lives of these first 18 presidents, We gain a deeper appreciation for the sacrifices, the struggles, and the triumphs that built the foundation of the United States. We'll discover how their decisions, their actions, and their very personalities shaped the nation we know today. So, let us begin this captivating journey. Let the stories unfold, and allow the soothing rhythm of my voice to transport you to another time, a time of revolution, growth, and the forging of a new nation. Close your eyes, relax, and let the history of the United States come alive for you. We will explore the lives and legacies of these extraordinary men, one presidency at a time, offering you a tranquil and insightful experience to aid your relaxation and sleep. Prepare to be transported to a bygone era, where the foundations of a nation were laid and the stories of its leaders still resonate today. Let the journey begin. And remember, every story holds a lesson, every life a legacy. We'll uncover them all together. Let's begin. Now, let's delve into the life of George Washington, a name synonymous with American independence and the very foundation of the presidency. His story is one of unlikely beginnings, remarkable leadership, and a profound impact on the nation's future. Far from a preordained leader, Washington's path to becoming the first president was paved with hard work, unwavering dedication, and a series of pivotal moments that shaped not only his own destiny, but the destiny of a nation. Born in Westmoreland County, Virginia, in 1732, young George Washington's early life was far from glamorous. He received a modest education, but his keen intellect and practical skills shone through. He embarked on a career as a surveyor, a profession that honed his leadership abilities and instilled in him a deep understanding of the land, its resources, and its potential. These early experiences provided him with invaluable skills that would later prove crucial in his military and political careers. The meticulous attention to detail and the ability to assess complex situations, honed by his surveying work, became hallmarks of his leadership. The call to arms during the French and Indian War marked a turning point in Washington's life. His courage, strategic thinking, and ability to inspire his troops quickly propelled him to prominence. Despite some initial setbacks, he proved to be a capable and resourceful commander, gaining valuable experience that would serve him well in the years to come. These early military campaigns instilled in him the qualities of resilience, determination, and the unwavering belief in the cause he championed. The brewing conflict with Great Britain found Washington firmly entrenched in the movement for colonial independence. His unwavering commitment to the cause of liberty and his unparalleled ability to unify disparate factions made him a natural choice to lead the Continental Army. The early years of the Revolutionary War were fraught with challenges, shortages of supplies, dwindling morale, and the formidable might of the British Army. Yet, Washington persevered, demonstrating exceptional leadership, resilience, and a remarkable ability to inspire his troops even in the face of overwhelming odds. His strategic brilliance, his ability to maintain the morale of his troops, and his steadfast commitment to the cause of independence were instrumental in the eventual victory of the American Revolution. His victory at Yorktown in 1781 was a turning point, securing the hard-fought independence of the American colonies. However, the task was far from over. The newly formed nation needed strong leadership to navigate the complex challenges of establishing a new government and forging a unified nation from 13 disparate colonies. Despite his deep desire for a quiet retirement at Mount Vernon, Washington was unanimously elected as the first president of the United States in 1789. His reluctance to accept the presidency underscores his humility and his sense of responsibility towards his nation. He understood the immense weight of the office and the significant challenges that lay ahead. Washington's presidency set numerous precedents that would shape the future of the American executive branch. He established the cabinet system, carefully selecting individuals of diverse talents and experience to advise him on matters of state. He understood the importance of establishing clear lines of authority and of fostering a strong working relationship with his advisors. His actions established a standard of conduct and decorum that would influence subsequent presidents. He navigated the treacherous waters of early American politics with remarkable skill and wisdom. He carefully balanced the interests of various factions, fostering a sense of national unity in a time of profound division. He understood the importance of compromise and the necessity of forging consensus to ensure the stability and success of the new nation. In his farewell address, Washington provided a blueprint for future leadership, cautioning against the dangers of factionalism, political entanglements, and the importance of preserving national unity. His words remain timeless, a testament to his wisdom and foresight and his dedication to the preservation of the young republic. It serves as a lasting reminder of his dedication to the nation's well-being. His legacy extends far beyond his 2 terms as president. It's a testament to integrity, leadership, and a profound commitment to the principles of liberty and self-governance. He wasn't just the first president. He was the architect of the presidency itself, shaping the office and its role in American governance for generations to come. His unwavering commitment to the principles of the new nation and his willingness to serve despite his desire for retirement cemented his place in history as not just a leader, but a founding father. His legacy continues to inspire and guide us even today. As we transition to the next chapter, the presidency of John Adams, remember the weight of the responsibility Washington bore and the enduring legacy he left behind. Following the monumental legacy of George Washington, we now turn our attention to John Adams, the second president of the United States. Unlike Washington's military background, Adams's path to the presidency was forged in the crucible of intellectual pursuit and political maneuvering. A scholar-statesman, Adams brought a different style of leadership to the office, one marked by intellectual rigor, unwavering conviction, and a willingness to engage in robust debate. His presidency, though shorter and less outwardly triumphant than Washington's, played a crucial role in shaping the young nation's identity and its relationship with the world. From his early life, Adams displayed a prodigious intellect. He excelled in his studies, developing a sharp mind and a deep understanding of history, philosophy, and law. His dedication to learning laid the foundation for his future political career. This intellectual foundation informed his political thought and provided him with the tools to navigate the complexities of the Revolutionary era. His contributions to the cause of independence were immense, and his unwavering commitment to the ideals of liberty and self-governance were key to the success of the Revolution. Adams played a pivotal role in the Continental Congress, advocating for independence and actively participating in the drafting of the Declaration of Independence. Although not the primary author, his contributions were significant, and his influence on the document's final form is undeniable. He served as a key voice in the debates leading up to the Declaration, and his arguments helped to sway those who were hesitant to declare independence from Great Britain. His commitment to the cause of independence extended beyond words. He actively participated in the diplomatic efforts to secure international recognition for the newly formed nation. His relationship with George Washington, while marked by mutual respect, was not without its complexities. While they shared a common goal of establishing a strong and independent nation, their approaches to leadership differed significantly. Washington, with his military background, favored a more unifying, consensus-building style. Adams, on the other hand, was more inclined to engage in intellectual debate and to assert his own views forcefully. This difference in style sometimes led to disagreements, but it also contributed to a dynamic and engaging political environment. Adams's presidency was marked by significant challenges, both domestic and international. The fledgling nation faced economic instability, political divisions, and the growing threat of war with France. The quasi-war with France, an undeclared naval conflict, tested the young nation's resolve and its capacity for international diplomacy. Adams navigated these challenges with a combination of shrewd diplomacy and decisive action, ultimately preventing a full-scale war with France. His commitment to peace, despite considerable pressure to engage in a wider conflict, showcased his diplomatic skills and his commitment to the well-being of the nation. His actions, though controversial at the time, ultimately served to protect the young nation from the potentially devastating consequences of a major war. Despite his significant contributions to the nation, Adams's presidency was not without its criticisms. His strong-willed personality and his sometimes uncompromising style alienated some of his political allies. His focus on diplomacy and his efforts to avoid a full-scale war with France were interpreted by some as signs of weakness, while others criticized his handling of internal political divisions. He faced opposition from both Federalists and Republicans, and his presidency was marked by intense political polarization. However, his unwavering dedication to the principles of the Republic and his commitment to the nation's survival remain unquestionable. In contrast to Washington's unifying style, Adams's presidency highlighted the inherent tensions and complexities of early American politics. His intellectual approach and his willingness to engage in robust debate underscored the importance of robust dialogue and the need for diverse perspectives in shaping the nation's future. Although his presidency was shorter than Washington's and lacked the same level of outward success, his contributions to the nation's early development remained significant. He navigated a period of great uncertainty and laid the groundwork for the future. His commitment to the principles of the Republic and his unwavering dedication to the nation's survival cemented his place in American history as a pivotal figure in its early development, a scholar-statesman who shaped the course of the young nation. As we move forward to the next presidential administration, remember the intellectual and political contributions of John Adams, a figure whose legacy continues to resonate even today. Now, let's journey to the era of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, a figure whose life and presidency were indelibly marked by revolution, expansion, and the enduring paradox of his views on slavery. His legacy is a complex tapestry woven from threads of intellectual brilliance, political acumen, and a deeply troubling contradiction that continues to challenge our understanding of this founding father. Jefferson's contributions to the American Revolution are undeniable. He wasn't just a signer of the Declaration of Independence. He was its principal author, crafting the eloquent prose that articulated the ideals of liberty, equality, and self-governance that would shape the nation's identity. His words, imbued with the spirit of Enlightenment thought, resonated far beyond the confines of the colonies, inspiring revolutionaries and reformers across the globe. Imagine the pressure, the weight of responsibility he must have felt, crafting a document that would declare a nation's birth and challenge the very foundations of a global empire. His skillful use of language, his ability to articulate complex ideas with clarity and precision, cemented his place in history as one of the most influential writers of all time. The Declaration was more than just a political document. It was a powerful statement of ideals that continues to inspire hope and action today. His presidency, from 1801 to 1809, was a time of significant expansion for the young nation. The Louisiana Purchase, perhaps his most significant achievement, doubled the size of the United States overnight. This audacious acquisition of land from France, encompassing a vast territory that stretched from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains, opened up unprecedented opportunities for westward expansion and national growth. Picture Jefferson, a man of meticulous planning and careful consideration, weighing the risks and rewards of such an immense undertaking. The Louisiana Purchase was not just a land grab. It was a bold strategic move that secured America's future and laid the foundation for its continental destiny. It reshaped the geopolitical landscape of North America, securing access to vital waterways and resources and setting the stage for future territorial growth. Yet, amidst these monumental achievements, there exists a dark shadow: Jefferson's ownership of enslaved people. This deeply troubling aspect of his life casts a long shadow over his legacy, irreconcilably contrasting with the ideals of liberty and equality he championed in the Declaration of Independence. He inherited enslaved people from his father-in-law and continued the practice throughout his life. While he expressed reservations about slavery in his writings, his actions often fell short of his words. This inherent contradiction between his public pronouncements and his private life continues to fuel debate and introspection, forcing us to grapple with the complexities of his character and the enduring legacy of slavery in America. It's a reminder that even the most celebrated figures in history can harbor deep inconsistencies, and that the pursuit of historical understanding requires a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. Let's step back for a moment and picture Jefferson at Monticello, his beloved plantation home nestled in the rolling hills of Virginia. Imagine him strolling through the gardens, his mind teeming with ideas, his spirit nurtured by the beauty of the landscape. He was not just a politician. He was also a scholar, an architect, an inventor, and a farmer. His life at Monticello was a testament to his multifaceted nature, a reflection of his intellectual curiosity and his deep connection to the land. He meticulously designed his home, incorporating his own innovative architectural ideas, and he took pride in cultivating his extensive gardens, demonstrating his passion for botany and horticulture. These pursuits offered him a respite from the pressures of politics, providing a space for creativity, reflection, and renewal. Monticello was more than just a home. It was a sanctuary, a place where Jefferson could retreat from the turmoil of public life and reconnect with his passions. It's a place that offers a glimpse into the private life of a public figure, allowing us to connect with the man behind the presidency. The legacy of Thomas Jefferson is multifaceted and complex. His contributions to the founding of the nation are undeniable, yet the shadow of slavery remains a stark reminder of the contradictions inherent in his life and the enduring challenges of confronting the complexities of American history. His presidency, marked by expansion and the acquisition of vast territories, stands in stark contrast to the morally questionable practice of enslaving people. The story of Thomas Jefferson is a reminder that history is not a simple narrative. It's a tapestry woven from threads of both triumph and tragedy, accomplishment and failure, ideals and contradictions. As we conclude this segment, let us reflect on this intricate legacy and continue to grapple with the complexities it presents. Now, let's turn our attention to James Madison, the fourth President of the United States, a man often hailed as the father of the Constitution. His contributions to the shaping of American governance are profound and enduring, leaving an indelible mark on the nation's political landscape. While often overshadowed by the more flamboyant personalities of his contemporaries, Madison's intellectual rigor, meticulous planning, and unwavering commitment to the principles of republicanism laid the groundwork for the enduring strength and stability of the American system of government. Madison's role in the drafting of the Constitution was pivotal. He wasn't just a participant. He was a driving force, a key architect of the framework that would govern the nation for centuries to come. His deep understanding of political philosophy, his grasp of historical precedent, and his ability to synthesize diverse viewpoints into a coherent whole made him an invaluable asset to the Constitutional Convention. Picture him, a relatively young man, engaging in intense debates, skillfully navigating complex issues, and meticulously crafting the language that would define the structure and function of the new government. He meticulously documented the proceedings, leaving behind a rich record of the debates and compromises that shaped the final document. His contributions extended beyond the convention itself. He played a crucial role in securing ratification of the Constitution, engaging in a series of influential essays known as the Federalist Papers, which eloquently defended the principles of the new government and persuaded skeptical states to join the Union. The Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, further solidified Madison's legacy as a champion of individual liberties. Driven by concerns about potential government overreach, he played a key role in ensuring the protection of fundamental rights such as freedom of speech, religion, and assembly. These amendments, crafted with meticulous care, serve as a bulwark against tyranny, ensuring the protection of individual freedoms against the encroachment of government power. It's important to remember that the Bill of Rights wasn't a given. It was the result of careful deliberation and compromise, a testament to Madison's commitment to balancing the needs of the nation with the rights of its citizens. Madison's presidency, from 1809 to 1817, was marked by the War of 1812, a conflict that tested the young nation's resolve and resilience. While the war itself was a challenging period, it ultimately strengthened national unity and solidified America's independence. Madison's leadership during this tumultuous period demonstrated his ability to navigate complex political challenges and guide the nation through a period of uncertainty. He faced criticism for his handling of the war, but his commitment to the principles of national sovereignty and self-determination ultimately prevailed. His legacy isn't just about avoiding conflict, but also about his determination to defend the nation's interests and uphold its independence. Contrasting Madison's approach with that of his predecessor, Thomas Jefferson, reveals interesting differences in leadership style. While Jefferson was known for his charisma and his expansive vision, Madison was more reserved, preferring careful deliberation and strategic planning. Jefferson's approach was often characterized by bold strokes and grand gestures, while Madison favored a more nuanced and methodical approach. Both men were deeply committed to the ideals of republicanism, but their approaches to governance reflected distinct personalities and leadership styles. Jefferson's focus on westward expansion and the Louisiana Purchase contrasted with Madison's emphasis on strengthening the federal government and consolidating the nation's political institutions. Their differences highlight the variety of leadership styles that can contribute to the success of a nation. Madison's legacy extends far beyond his presidency. He is remembered as a key architect of American governance, a man whose intellectual contributions shaped the course of the nation's history. His profound understanding of political philosophy, his commitment to the principles of republicanism, and his meticulous attention to detail laid the foundation for the enduring strength and stability of the American system of government. His contributions to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights continue to resonate today, serving as a testament to his vision and his dedication to building a just and equitable society. As we move forward in this exploration of the first 18 presidents, remember that Madison's quiet, meticulous work provides a counterpoint to the more flamboyant figures of the early republic, highlighting the importance of careful planning and thoughtful consideration in the building of a nation. He reminds us that true leadership can be found not just in bold pronouncements, but also in the quiet dedication to the principles of good governance. Now, let's journey to the era of James Monroe, the fifth president of the United States, a period often remembered as the era of good feelings. This wasn't a time without challenges, but it did mark a significant shift in the nation's political climate, a relative calm after the storms of earlier administrations. Monroe's presidency, from 1817 to 1825, witnessed a period of national unity and economic growth, a stark contrast to the intense partisan battles that had characterized the early years of the Republic. The Federalist Party, once a powerful force, had effectively faded from the national scene, leaving the Democratic-Republican Party as the dominant force in American politics. This relative lack of strong partisan opposition contributed to a sense of national harmony, though this era of good feelings wasn't entirely without its underlying tensions. The sense of national unity wasn't simply a political phenomenon. It was woven into the fabric of the nation's social and economic life. Following the War of 1812, a renewed sense of national pride and purpose swept across the country. Americans celebrated their hard-fought independence and looked towards the future with optimism and ambition. The war had forged a stronger sense of national identity, uniting citizens from different regions and backgrounds under a common banner. This shared experience helped to bridge some of the divides that had previously existed, creating a more cohesive and unified nation. This wasn't a complete absence of conflict, but rather a period where the focus shifted from intense partisan struggles to addressing national priorities. Economically, the Monroe era witnessed significant growth and expansion. The nation's infrastructure was undergoing a transformation, with the construction of canals and roads facilitating trade and communication across the expanding country. This infrastructure development not only boosted economic activity, but also helped to integrate different regions, fostering a greater sense of national interconnectedness. The burgeoning industrial sector was also contributing significantly to the nation's economic prosperity. New industries were emerging, creating jobs and wealth, and driving economic growth. This economic expansion wasn't evenly distributed, and disparities persisted, but it contributed to a general sense of progress and optimism. Perhaps the most significant achievement of Monroe's presidency was the Monroe Doctrine, a bold statement of American foreign policy that would shape the nation's relationship with the rest of the world for decades to come. Issued in 1823, the doctrine declared that the Americas were closed to further colonization by European powers. It also asserted that the United States would not interfere in the internal affairs of European nations. This was a powerful assertion of American influence and a clear signal of the nation's growing stature on the world stage. The Monroe Doctrine was a watershed moment, marking a shift in the balance of power in the Western Hemisphere and establishing the United States as a major player in international affairs. It wasn't without its complexities, and its implications would be debated for years to come, but it remains a significant landmark in American foreign policy. Monroe's presidency, then, was more than just a period of political calm. It was a time of national consolidation and expansion. The relative absence of intense partisan conflict allowed the nation to focus on internal development and the assertion of its growing international influence. The economic growth, infrastructure development, and the bold proclamation of the Monroe Doctrine all contributed to a sense of national pride and optimism, shaping the nation's trajectory in significant ways. While the era of good feelings wasn't without its underlying tensions and challenges, it stands as a pivotal moment in American history, a period of relative peace and prosperity that laid the foundation for future growth and expansion. The relative quiet of this era, compared to the tumultuous years that preceded it, allowed the nation to solidify its identity and chart a course towards a more powerful and influential future. It's a compelling narrative of national unity, economic growth, and the assertion of American power on the world stage. It is a reminder that periods of relative calm can be just as significant as times of intense conflict in shaping the course of a nation's history. The legacy of Monroe's presidency continues to resonate today, a testament to his leadership during a pivotal moment in American development. This period of relative unity, however, would not last, and the next era would see the return of intense political division and debate. But for now, we can appreciate the relative calm and the significant progress made during the presidency of James Monroe. Now, let's turn our attention to John Quincy Adams, the sixth President of the United States, a man whose presidency stands in stark contrast to the era that preceded it. While James Monroe's administration was marked by a relative calm, Adams's single term was characterized by intense political infighting and ultimately disappointment. However, his story is far from simple, encompassing a distinguished diplomatic career and a powerful legacy as an outspoken abolitionist. Understanding Adams requires appreciating the complexities of his personality and the political landscape he navigated. Before becoming president, Adams had already carved a remarkable path for himself in the world of diplomacy. His years spent representing the United States abroad, particularly his role in negotiating the Treaty of Ghent, which concluded the War of 1812, showcased his diplomatic acumen and his unwavering dedication to his country's interests. He possessed a keen intellect and a deep understanding of international relations, qualities that served him well in his diplomatic endeavors. His contributions to shaping early American foreign policy were substantial, laying the groundwork for future diplomatic successes. He understood the intricacies of international negotiations, the importance of alliances, and the need for a strong and assertive foreign policy. His presidency, however, proved to be a far cry from the diplomatic triumphs of his earlier career. Winning the election of 1824 was a hard-fought battle, marked by intense political maneuvering and accusations of corruption. The election ultimately went to the House of Representatives, highlighting the fractured nature of the political landscape at the time. his intellectual approach to governance and his focus on national improvements, while laudable, failed to resonate with the broader public. His emphasis on internal improvements and infrastructure development, while beneficial in the long run, seemed less appealing to the average citizen compared to the more populist message of his opponent, Andrew Jackson. The contrast between Adams and Andrew Jackson, his successor, is striking. Adams, a man of intellect and refinement, favored reasoned debate and a measured approach to governance. Jackson, on the other hand, was a charismatic military hero who appealed directly to the common man. This difference in style and approach proved to be a crucial factor in Adams's electoral defeat. While Adams's supporters admired his intellectual prowess and his dedication to public service, Jackson's supporters were drawn to his strength, his military background, and his populist appeal. This contrast highlights the changing nature of American politics and the growing influence of popular opinion. Adams's intellectualism, while a strength in many ways, ultimately proved to be a disadvantage in the rough-and-tumble world of 19th-century American politics. Despite the disappointment of his presidency, Adams's legacy extends far beyond his single term in office. After leaving the White House, he embarked on a new chapter in his life, serving in the House of Representatives for many years. It was during this later period that he became a prominent voice in the growing abolitionist movement. His outspoken opposition to slavery, a position he held with unwavering conviction, cemented his place in history as a champion of human rights. He recognized the inherent injustice of slavery and dedicated himself to fighting for its eradication. His unwavering stance against the institution, even in the face of intense opposition, stands as a testament to his courage and moral conviction. In conclusion, John Quincy Adams's life was a complex tapestry of diplomatic achievements, political setbacks, and unwavering moral conviction. His presidency, while marked by disappointment, shouldn't overshadow his profound contributions to American diplomacy and his courageous fight against slavery. The contrast between his intellectual approach and the popular appeal of Jackson underscores the complexities of American politics, reminding us that leadership can take many forms, and that even the most brilliant minds can face unexpected defeats. His story serves as a reminder that historical figures are often far more nuanced and multifaceted than simple narratives allow, and his legacy continues to inspire reflection on the challenges of leadership and the importance of standing up for one's beliefs, even in the face of adversity. His life and career offer a valuable lesson in understanding the interplay between personal qualities, political realities, and the enduring pursuit of justice. The story of John Quincy Adams is a rich and complex one, a testament to the enduring complexities of human ambition, political realities, and the unwavering pursuit of justice. Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States, remains one of the most controversial and fascinating figures in American history. His presidency, from 1829 to 1837, was a period of dramatic change, marked by his populist appeal, a significant expansion of suffrage, and policies that had profound and lasting consequences for Native Americans. Understanding Jackson requires examining his military background, his personality, and the complex legacy of his actions. Jackson's military career profoundly shaped his worldview and political style. A veteran of the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812, he was a charismatic military leader known for his courage and decisiveness. His victory at the Battle of New Orleans cemented his status as a national hero, a reputation that proved invaluable in his rise to the presidency. The image of Jackson, the rugged frontiersman and military hero, resonated deeply with the common man, contributing significantly to his broad popular appeal. His military experience instilled in him a strong sense of self-reliance and a belief in decisive action, traits that characterized his presidency. He was accustomed to command, and he brought that same commanding presence to the White House. Jackson's presidency also witnessed a significant expansion of suffrage, with property requirements for voting being eliminated in many states. This led to a dramatic increase in voter participation, transforming the political landscape. More people than ever before had a voice in their government, creating a more participatory democracy. This expansion of suffrage, however, also brought with it new challenges as the electorate became more diverse and politically engaged. The increase in voter participation was a defining feature of the Jacksonian era, fundamentally altering the political power dynamics of the nation. His populist appeal was instrumental in this shift, as he directly addressed the concerns of ordinary citizens, emphasizing their importance and their role in shaping the nation's future. However, Jackson's legacy is deeply intertwined with the controversial Indian Removal Act of 1830. This act led to the forced relocation of thousands of Native Americans from their ancestral lands in the southeastern United States to territories west of the Mississippi River. This forced migration, known as the Trail of Tears, resulted in immense suffering and loss of life. The removal of Native American tribes from their homelands remains a dark chapter in American history, a stark reminder of the injustices suffered by indigenous populations. The Indian Removal Act exemplifies the complexities of Jackson's presidency, showcasing the devastating consequences of his policies and the enduring legacy of his actions. Jackson's presidency also marked a significant turning point in the development of the two-party system. While the Federalist Party had effectively disappeared by this point, the Democratic Party, which Jackson represented, solidified its position alongside the Whig Party, leading to a period of intense political competition and partisan struggle. This two-party system, which continues to this day, became a defining feature of American politics, shaping the political debates and power struggles of the nation. The rise of the two-party system during Jackson's presidency reflected the changing political landscape and the emergence of distinct ideologies and political platforms. Jackson himself was a man of contradictions. Known for his strong will and his decisive action, he also possessed a fiery temper and a tendency towards impulsive behavior. Anecdotes abound about his confrontational personality, his quick temper, and his willingness to engage in personal battles with his political opponents. He wasn't afraid to challenge the established order, and he often acted on his own instincts, regardless of the potential consequences. His personal life was also complex, marked by both great affection and significant loss. His strong personality influenced every aspect of his political life, shaping his policies and his interactions with others. In conclusion, Andrew Jackson's presidency was a transformative period in American history. His populist appeal, his expansion of suffrage, and his controversial policies left an indelible mark on the nation. While his actions brought about significant changes, they also had devastating consequences, particularly for Native American populations. His legacy is a complex and often contradictory one, prompting continued debate and reflection on the nature of power, the complexities of leadership, and the lasting impact of political decisions on the lives of individuals and entire communities. His story underscores the importance of understanding the full scope of a historical figure's actions, recognizing both their triumphs and their failures, and learning from the mistakes of the past. Martin Van Buren, the 8th President of the United States, served as a key figure in Andrew Jackson's administration before ascending to the presidency himself. His tenure, however, was largely defined by the devastating economic crisis known as the Panic of 1837, a downturn that dramatically shaped his presidency and left a lasting impact on the nation. Understanding Van Buren's presidency requires examining his relationship with Jackson, the circumstances surrounding the Panic of 1837, and his attempt to navigate the ensuing economic hardship. Van Buren's political career was deeply intertwined with that of Andrew Jackson. He served as Jackson's Secretary of State and later as his Vice President, becoming a trusted advisor and confidant. Van Buren was instrumental in shaping Jackson's policies and in building the Democratic Party into a powerful political force. His close association with Jackson, while advantageous in his rise to power, also presented significant challenges during his own presidency. The policies implemented during Jackson's administration, particularly those related to banking and finance, directly contributed to the economic turmoil that characterized Van Buren's time in office. The legacy of Jackson's presidency cast a long shadow over Van Buren's, making it difficult for him to escape the consequences of previous decisions. The Panic of 1837, a severe financial crisis, struck just months after Van Buren's inauguration. Triggered by a combination of factors, including speculation in land, overextension of credit, and a decline in international trade, the panic led to widespread bank failures, business bankruptcies, and widespread unemployment. The economic crisis was profound and far-reaching, affecting all aspects of American life. The Panic of 1837 tested the resilience of the young nation and challenged the effectiveness of the government's response to economic hardship. Van Buren's presidency was largely consumed by the efforts to mitigate the crisis and to restore economic stability. Van Buren's response to the Panic of 1837 was largely characterized by a belief in limited government intervention. He advocated for a policy of laissez-faire, believing that the economy would eventually recover on its own without extensive government intervention. This approach, however, was met with criticism from those who believed that stronger government action was needed to alleviate the suffering caused by the economic crisis. The debate over the appropriate role of government in addressing economic crises remains a central theme in American political thought, and Van Buren's presidency serves as a crucial case study in this ongoing discussion. The Independent Treasury Act, passed during Van Buren's presidency, reflected his commitment to limited government intervention. This act established a system of independent federal sub-treasuries to handle government funds, separating them from private banks. While intended to protect government funds from financial instability, the act also contributed to the contraction of credit and further exacerbated the economic downturn. The Independent Treasury Act illustrates Van Buren's commitment to financial stability, but it also highlights the unintended consequences of government policies and the complexities of economic management. This act continues to be studied as an example of government action during a period of economic instability, prompting discussion on the balance between government intervention and market forces. Van Buren's presidency was also marked by a growing sectional divide within the nation, reflecting rising tensions over slavery and states' rights. While the economic crisis dominated his administration, the underlying tensions over slavery and the balance of power between the North and the South were already beginning to surface. The seeds of the Civil War were being sown during this period, adding another layer of complexity to the challenges Van Buren faced. His presidency served as a transitional period, bridging the gap between the Jacksonian era and the escalating sectional conflicts that would eventually lead to the nation's most devastating conflict. In conclusion, Martin Van Buren's presidency was largely defined by the devastating Panic of 1837. His response to the crisis, shaped by his belief in limited government intervention, was met with mixed results. While his administration implemented measures aimed at stabilizing the economy, the severity of the panic and the limitations of his approach left a lasting impact on the nation's economic and political landscape. The legacy of Jackson's policies, combined with the unforeseen consequences of the panic, significantly impacted Van Buren's presidency, showcasing the interconnectedness of political decisions and their long-term effects. His story serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of economic cycles and the challenges inherent in balancing economic stability with principles of limited government. The economic hardship of his presidency underscores the importance of understanding the delicate interplay between economic policies and their societal impact, a lesson relevant even today. William Henry Harrison, the 9th President of the United States, holds a unique place in American history as the president with the shortest term in office. His life, prior to his brief presidency, was marked by a distinguished military career, but his time in the White House was tragically cut short, leaving a legacy defined less by policy and more by the circumstances of his death and its impact on the nation's leadership. Let's delve into the life and surprisingly brief presidency of this remarkable figure. Harrison's early life and career were deeply intertwined with the military. Born in Virginia, he joined the Army in 1791 and served with distinction in various campaigns, most notably the Northwest Indian War. His victories against Native American forces significantly shaped the expansion of the United States westward, solidifying his reputation as a skilled military leader and solidifying his place in American history. His military exploits earned him considerable acclaim and laid the foundation for his later political career. The battles he fought and the territories he secured played a vital role in the shaping of the United States' geographical boundaries and cemented his status as a national hero. His experiences on the frontier shaped his perspective on national issues and influenced his political outlook. The military successes that catapulted Harrison to national prominence were not without their controversies. His actions and decisions during the conflicts raised questions about his approach to warfare and his treatment of Native American populations. These aspects of his military career, while less celebrated than his victories, offer a more nuanced understanding of the complexities of his legacy. Examining these less discussed aspects allows for a more complete picture of the man and the times in which he lived. Harrison's political career began after his military service, transitioning smoothly from the battlefield to the political arena. He served as a territorial governor and later as a congressman, demonstrating an aptitude for both military strategy and political maneuvering. This blend of military prowess and political acumen proved to be a winning combination, propelling him to greater heights in the political world. His ability to navigate the complexities of both spheres of influence is a testament to his adaptability and strategic thinking. The 1840 presidential election was a pivotal moment in Harrison's life, marking his ascent to the highest office in the land. His campaign, skillfully leveraging his military reputation and the Whig Party's platform, resonated with the electorate, securing him a decisive victory against incumbent Martin Van Buren. The election was a testament to his political prowess and the effectiveness of his campaign strategy, demonstrating his ability to connect with voters on a national level. His victory marked a turning point in American politics, signaling a shift in power and a change in the nation's direction. However, Harrison's presidency was exceptionally short-lived. He delivered an unusually long inaugural address in inclement weather, an event that many believe contributed to his subsequent illness and death. This unfortunate event marked the beginning of an incredibly short tenure in office, leaving a legacy largely defined by the unexpected circumstances of his passing. The historical debate surrounding the cause of his death highlights the unpredictable nature of health and the fragility of life, even at the highest levels of power. Harrison's death, just 31 days after his inauguration, prompted the immediate succession of John Tyler, his vice president, to the presidency. This unprecedented event dramatically altered the political landscape and tested the uncharted waters of presidential succession. The unexpected turn of events underscored the importance of clear lines of succession and the potential for unforeseen circumstances to drastically change the course of events in the realm of politics. The sudden transition of power impacted the nation's political trajectory and highlighted the need for a well-defined protocol for unexpected leadership changes. The brevity of Harrison's presidency overshadowed any significant policy achievements or lasting legislative impacts he might have made. His time in office was so brief that it provided little opportunity to implement his political agenda or leave a mark on the nation's course. The unexpectedness of his death and the rapid succession of his vice president overshadowed any potential lasting impact he might have had on policy or governance. His legacy is thus inextricably linked to the circumstances surrounding his death and the abrupt change in leadership that followed. In retrospect, William Henry Harrison's presidency serves as a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of life and the fragility of power. His distinguished military career and his electoral victory were overshadowed by the extraordinary brevity of his time in office. The unexpected circumstances surrounding his death and its consequences highlight the importance of preparedness and the inherent unpredictability of the political landscape. His story offers a compelling case study in the unexpected turns of history and the lasting impact of unforeseen events. It serves as a reminder that even the most carefully laid plans can be disrupted by unexpected events, underscoring the importance of adaptability and resilience in the face of adversity. His legacy, though brief, remains a significant footnote in the chronicles of American presidential history, a unique and poignant narrative in the ever-evolving story of the United States. John Tyler, the 10th President of the United States, ascended to the highest office under the most unexpected of circumstances. His presidency, far from being a mere footnote in history, was instead a period of significant political maneuvering, unexpected policy decisions, and a remarkable defiance of established norms. Let's explore the life and times of this accidental president, a man who carved his own unique path in the annals of American leadership. Tyler's journey to the presidency began not with a carefully orchestrated campaign, but with the sudden and untimely death of President William Henry Harrison. This unexpected event catapulted Tyler, the vice president, into the presidency, a position he never actively sought and one that would challenge the established norms and expectations of the time. His ascension was unprecedented, setting the stage for a presidency defined by its unexpectedness and the challenges it presented. Upon assuming the presidency, Tyler faced immediate challenges regarding his relationship with the Whig Party, the party under whose banner he and Harrison had won the election. The Whig Party, largely comprised of supporters of Harrison, held differing political ideologies from Tyler, creating a significant tension between the new president and the party that had brought him to power. This divergence in political philosophies would shape the course of his presidency and lead to significant conflicts. A major point of contention between Tyler and the Whigs centered around legislation. Tyler, despite being elected on the Whig platform, frequently vetoed bills passed by the Whig-controlled Congress. These vetoes, often seen as controversial at the time, stemmed from his distinct political views and his belief in a more limited role for the federal government. His actions, while defying expectations, demonstrated his commitment to his own political principles, even at the cost of his relationship with the party that had propelled him to the presidency. These vetoes, while disruptive to the political landscape, helped shape the development of presidential power and influence. One of the most significant events during Tyler's presidency was the annexation of Texas. This bold decision was a pivotal moment in American history, significantly expanding the nation's territory and setting the stage for future westward expansion. Tyler's decisive action on this issue demonstrated his willingness to make bold decisions, even when facing considerable political opposition. The annexation of Texas would have lasting implications on American history, shaping the nation's geographical boundaries and influencing the political landscape for years to come. The annexation also highlighted the growing tensions between the United States and Mexico, setting the stage for the Mexican-American War. Tyler's relationship with the Whig Party deteriorated significantly due to his policy decisions and his frequent use of the presidential veto. His actions were often viewed as a betrayal of the party's platform and a rejection of its political agenda. The rift between Tyler and the Whigs led to the expulsion of Tyler from the party, making him a political independent for the remainder of his presidency. His unique position as a politically independent president shaped his approach to governance and allowed him to pursue policies that aligned with his own vision. Despite the challenges he faced and the political isolation he experienced, Tyler remained resolute in his beliefs and his policies. He pursued his own political agenda, often defying the expectations and pressures from the established political parties. His defiance demonstrated his commitment to his principles and his belief in his own vision for the nation. This unwavering resolve in the face of adversity became a defining characteristic of his presidency. Beyond the annexation of Texas, Tyler's administration saw some other noteworthy achievements. He signed legislation that established the independent treasury system, a measure intended to improve the stability of the American financial system. This initiative, though not without its critics, reflected his commitment to financial reform and his belief in a more stable economy. He also worked to establish diplomatic relations with various foreign nations, furthering the nation's standing on the global stage. These actions, often overlooked in the shadow of the Texas annexation, demonstrated the breadth of his policy efforts. John Tyler's presidency, though marked by political turmoil and unexpected circumstances, was far from insignificant. His unexpected ascension, his vetoes of Whig legislation, and his annexation of Texas all shaped the political landscape of his time. He defied expectations, forging his own unique path and leaving behind a legacy that is both complex and compelling. His story serves as a reminder that even accidental presidents can leave a significant impact on the course of history, challenging established norms and leaving a lasting legacy. His presidency stands as a testament to the unpredictable nature of politics and the power of individual conviction. His legacy remains a fascinating study in political resilience and unexpected leadership. James K. Polk, the 11th President of the United States, is a figure inextricably linked to the concept of manifest destiny and the dramatic expansion of American territory during his single term in office. His presidency, though brief, was a period of intense national growth and significant geopolitical shifts, leaving a lasting impact on the nation's landscape and its relationship with its neighbors. Let's delve into the story of Polk's ambitious agenda and the consequences of his expansionist policies. Polk's presidency was largely defined by his unwavering belief in manifest destiny, the widely held 19th century belief that the United States was destined to expand its dominion and spread democracy across the North American continent. This belief fueled his ambitious expansionist agenda, which aimed to acquire vast territories from Mexico and solidify American control over the Pacific coast. His unwavering commitment to this ideology shaped his foreign policy decisions and led to both significant territorial gains and considerable controversy. The most significant event during Polk's presidency was undoubtedly the Mexican-American War. This conflict, fueled by territorial disputes and escalating tensions between the two nations, resulted in the United States acquiring a vast expanse of land encompassing present-day California, Nevada, Utah, most of Arizona and New Mexico, and parts of Colorado, Wyoming, Kansas, and Oklahoma. The war, though ultimately victorious for the United States, was a bloody and controversial affair, raising ethical questions about the expansionist ambitions of the nation and the treatment of the Mexican population. The acquisition of these vast territories was a landmark achievement for Polk and a testament to his ambitious expansionist agenda. The addition of these lands dramatically increased the size of the United States, solidifying its position as a major power in North America and setting the stage for future westward expansion. However, the acquisition also brought with it new challenges, including disputes over slavery in the newly acquired territories and the integration of diverse populations into the American nation. These challenges would significantly impact the political landscape for decades to come, contributing to the escalating tensions that ultimately led to the Civil War. Beyond the Mexican-American War, Polk's administration saw other significant achievements. He oversaw the lowering of tariffs, aiming to promote free trade and boost the American economy. He also successfully established an independent treasury system, further strengthening the nation's financial stability. These achievements, though overshadowed by the war, demonstrate the breadth of his policy goals and his commitment to economic reform. His economic policies, while controversial at the time, helped shape the development of the American economic system. The concept of manifest destiny, while central to Polk's presidency, was far from universally accepted. Critics argued that the expansionist policies were aggressive and unjust, leading to unnecessary conflict and the displacement of indigenous populations. The war with Mexico was particularly controversial, sparking debates about the morality of territorial acquisition through military conquest. These criticisms highlight the complex and often morally ambiguous nature of manifest destiny, a concept that continues to be debated by historians and scholars to this day. The long-term consequences of Polk's expansionist policies were profound and far-reaching. The acquisition of vast territories from Mexico dramatically changed the geographic map of the United States, fueling westward expansion and shaping the nation's identity. However, This expansion also exacerbated existing tensions over slavery, ultimately contributing to the outbreak of the Civil War. The displacement of indigenous populations and the exploitation of Mexican resources during this period also left a lasting legacy of injustice and inequality. The consequences of Polk's actions continue to resonate in American society today. Polk's presidency serves as a compelling case study in the complex interplay between national ambition, territorial expansion, and moral considerations. His single term in office was marked by significant achievements, but also by considerable controversy. His legacy is a complex one, reflecting the contradictions inherent in the pursuit of manifest destiny and the enduring consequences of expansionist policies. His story stands as a reminder of the lasting impact that even a single presidential term can have on the nation's history and its future. His actions, though driven by the ideology of manifest destiny, continue to shape the political and social landscape of the United States. His presidency remains a crucial part of understanding the nation's development and its complex relationship with expansion and its consequences. Zachary Taylor, the 12th President of the United States, stands as a unique figure in American history. A military hero catapulted into the presidency with little political experience, whose brief tenure was marked by the escalating crisis over slavery and whose unexpected death profoundly reshaped the nation's political trajectory. His life, a blend of military prowess and reluctant political leadership, offers a fascinating glimpse into a pivotal moment in American history. Taylor's path to the presidency was far from conventional. Unlike many of his predecessors, his rise to power wasn't forged in the crucible of political maneuvering and partisan battles. Instead, his claim to fame rested on his distinguished military career. A seasoned veteran of the Mexican-American War, Taylor had earned a reputation for his tactical brilliance and unwavering courage on the battlefield. His victories at Palo Alto and Buena Vista cemented his status as a national hero, transforming him from a relatively unknown military figure into a household name. This popularity, built on his military achievements, unexpectedly thrust him into the forefront of American politics. His election in 1848, under the Whig banner, was a testament to the public's admiration for his military prowess and their desire for a leader who seemed untainted by the partisan squabbles that characterized the political landscape of the time. The Whig Party, however, was a coalition of diverse interests, and Taylor's own political views were somewhat enigmatic. While he publicly avoided taking strong stances on the divisive issue of slavery, his personal beliefs and actions revealed a complex and nuanced perspective. His presidency was remarkably short-lived, lasting only a year and 4 months. During this brief time, he confronted the ever-growing crisis over slavery's expansion into newly acquired territories. The Compromise of 1850, a series of laws designed to address the issue, was debated and passed during his administration, but he played a relatively passive role in its formulation. His approach was one of cautious pragmatism, attempting to navigate the treacherous political waters without committing to a decisive stance that could alienate either side. Taylor's stance on slavery was a complex one, defying easy categorization. While he was a slave owner himself, inheriting slaves from his family, his public pronouncements on the issue were often vague and noncommittal. Some historians interpret this ambiguity as a strategic political maneuver designed to maintain his broad base of support. Others view it as a reflection of his genuine uncertainty about the best way to address the deeply divisive issue. Regardless of his true motivations, his lack of a clear, decisive position on slavery contributed to the political gridlock that characterized his presidency. His unexpected death from cholera in July 1850 threw the nation into turmoil. His sudden demise left a power vacuum at a time of intense political instability, leaving the country grappling with the unresolved issue of slavery's expansion and the volatile political landscape of the time. His death tragically cut short a presidency that had yet to fully define itself, leaving a legacy marked more by what might have been than by concrete achievements. The timing of his death was particularly significant, as it dramatically altered the course of events surrounding the Compromise of 1850, a compromise that ultimately proved insufficient to prevent the escalating tensions that led to the Civil War. The impact of Taylor's death extended far beyond the immediate political consequences. His passing dramatically shifted the balance of power within the Whig Party and the nation as a whole. His successor, Millard Fillmore, played a significant role in the passage of the Compromise of 1850, a series of legislative measures designed to address the issue of slavery's expansion into newly acquired territories. However, the compromise, though successful in temporarily easing tensions, ultimately proved insufficient to prevent the eruption of the Civil War a decade later. Taylor's untimely death, therefore, serves as a tragic yet pivotal moment in the countdown to the nation's most devastating conflict. Zachary Taylor's presidency, though brief and marked by inaction on some critical issues, remains a significant chapter in American history. His military background, his unexpected elevation to the presidency, and his ambiguous stance on slavery all contributed to the turbulent political climate of his time. His story serves as a poignant reminder of the unpredictable nature of history and the profound impact that even a short presidency can have on the trajectory of a nation. His death, particularly its timing, remains a subject of historical fascination and speculation, highlighting the fragility of leadership and the unpredictable nature of political events. His legacy is one of both military triumph and political uncertainty, leaving behind a story that continues to intrigue and challenge our understanding of American history. His life serves as a reminder of the complexities of leadership in times of crisis and the enduring impact of even the shortest presidencies on the course of a nation. Millard Fillmore, the 13th President of the United States, ascended to the presidency under tragically unforeseen circumstances, the sudden death of Zachary Taylor. His presidency, though shaped by the shadow of his predecessor's demise, is indelibly linked to the Compromise of 1850, a complex and ultimately unsuccessful attempt to stave off the looming crisis of civil war. Fillmore's role in this pivotal moment in American history is a testament to the precariousness of the Union and the inherent fragility of compromise in the face of deeply entrenched divisions. Stepping into the presidency, Fillmore inherited a nation deeply divided over the question of slavery's expansion into newly acquired territories. The annexation of vast territories from Mexico following the Mexican-American War had dramatically exacerbated the already simmering tensions between the North and the South. The debate over whether these new territories would be admitted to the Union as free or slave states had reached a fever pitch, threatening to tear the nation apart. Fillmore, a Whig from New York, found himself at the helm of a ship sailing dangerously close to the rocks of secession. The Compromise of 1850, a series of 5 separate bills, was a multifaceted attempt to address the multitude of issues fueling the conflict. These bills included the admission of California as a free state, the strengthening of the Fugitive Slave Act, the establishment of territorial governments in Utah and New Mexico with the issue of slavery left to popular sovereignty, and the abolishment of the slave trade in Washington, D.C. Each component of the compromise represented a delicate balancing act, a concession to one side in exchange for a concession from the other. Fillmore's role in the passage of the Compromise of 1850 was pivotal. He actively championed the legislation, using his influence to garner support from both sides of the aisle. His administration worked tirelessly to shepherd the bills through Congress, navigating the treacherous political currents with a skill that belied his relatively limited political experience prior to his sudden elevation to the presidency. While some historians criticize his support for the Fugitive Slave Act, others see it as a pragmatic political move aimed at maintaining the precarious peace. The success of the Compromise of 1850 was, at best, temporary. While it did successfully avert an immediate civil war by temporarily appeasing both the North and the South, it did so by papering over the fundamental divisions that threatened the Union's stability. The compromise essentially kicked the can down the road, delaying the inevitable confrontation over the issue of slavery, rather than resolving it. The Fugitive Slave Act, in particular, proved deeply unpopular in the North, fueling abolitionist sentiment and further alienating the two sections of the country. It sparked widespread resistance and ultimately served to deepen the chasm between the North and the South. The compromise's ultimate failure to resolve the slavery question underscores the inherent difficulties of forging lasting peace through compromise when the underlying issues are deeply entrenched and morally charged. The fragile equilibrium achieved by the Compromise of 1850 proved unsustainable, eventually succumbing to the weight of unresolved tensions and escalating sectional animosities. The years following the Compromise witnessed a surge in abolitionist sentiment in the North, further inflamed by the Fugitive Slave Act, and a hardening of pro-slavery attitudes in the South, convinced that their way of life was under attack. Fillmore's legacy is therefore a complex one. While he played a significant role in temporarily averting civil war, his actions ultimately failed to address the underlying causes of the conflict. His support for the Compromise of 1850, particularly the Fugitive Slave Act, has been criticized as contributing to the growing polarization between North and South. His presidency serves as a stark reminder that even the most carefully crafted compromises can fail to bridge unyielding divides, and that true peace requires more than just temporary appeasement. The events of his presidency underscore the precariousness of the Union in the years leading up to the Civil War, a period of intense political tension and near-constant brinkmanship. His story, though less dramatic than some of his predecessors, is integral to understanding the complex interplay of forces that ultimately led to the nation's most devastating conflict. The fragility of the nation, the almost unbearable tension hanging over every political decision, and the ultimately unsuccessful attempt at forging a lasting peace all highlight the difficult path toward national unity and the high stakes of political compromise in a deeply divided nation. Franklin Pierce, the 14th President of the United States, assumed office at a time when the nation was teetering on the brink of collapse. His presidency, though relatively short, is indelibly marked by the escalating tensions over slavery and the passage of the Kansas-Nebraska Act, a legislative blunder that further inflamed sectional animosities and propelled the nation closer to civil war. Pierce's administration, far from resolving the deep-seated divisions within the country, inadvertently exacerbated them, leaving a legacy of profound division and unresolved conflict. Pierce, a Democrat from New Hampshire, inherited a nation deeply divided over the issue of slavery's expansion into the territories. The Compromise of 1850, while temporarily easing tensions, had failed to address the fundamental issue at the heart of the conflict. The fragile peace was easily shattered, and the underlying tensions remained, simmering beneath the surface, waiting for the right spark to ignite a devastating conflagration. The Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854, championed by Senator Stephen Douglas and enthusiastically supported by Pierce, proved to be that spark. This controversial legislation effectively repealed the Missouri Compromise of 1820, which had prohibited slavery north of the 36 degrees 30 minutes parallel. The Kansas-Nebraska Act instead implemented the principle of popular sovereignty, allowing the residents of Kansas and Nebraska to decide for themselves whether to permit slavery within their borders. This seemingly simple solution, however, unleashed a torrent of violence and chaos. The act immediately ignited a fierce struggle for control of Kansas, as both pro-slavery and anti-slavery forces flooded into the territory, determined to influence the outcome of the upcoming vote. The ensuing violence, known as Bleeding Kansas, saw armed clashes between pro-slavery and anti-slavery factions, resulting in numerous deaths and widespread unrest. The territory became a battleground, a microcosm of the larger national conflict, with each side determined to impose its will on the other. The violence in Kansas was not merely a local affair. It was a reflection of the deep divisions that were tearing the nation apart. Pierce's staunch support for the Kansas-Nebraska Act and his subsequent failure to effectively quell the violence in Kansas solidified his image as a divisive president. His administration's response to the escalating crisis was widely criticized as weak and ineffective, further alienating both sides. The president's inability to maintain order and his perceived favoritism towards pro-slavery forces contributed to the growing sense of national disunity. His failure to effectively mediate the conflict only served to deepen the already existing fissures within the nation. The Kansas-Nebraska Act, along with Pierce's handling of the crisis in Kansas, had a profound impact on American politics. The act effectively destroyed the Whig Party, contributing to the rise of the Republican Party, a new political force explicitly opposed to the expansion of slavery. The Republican Party, drawing support primarily from the North, rapidly gained momentum, becoming a powerful counterweight to the Democratic Party, which held a stronger presence in the South. The political landscape was dramatically reshaped, with the issue of slavery now taking center stage. The escalating tensions over slavery, fueled by the Kansas-Nebraska Act and the violence in Kansas, ultimately led to the secession of southern states and the outbreak of the Civil War. Pierce's presidency, though marked by relative political calm in its early stages, stands as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of political inaction in the face of deeply entrenched divisions. His legacy is one of missed opportunities and inaction, leaving a nation increasingly polarized and hurtling towards a catastrophic conflict. His administration's failure to address the fundamental issues at the heart of the national crisis paved the way for the nation's bloodiest conflict, a tragic consequence of political missteps and a failure to effectively mediate the deep divisions that ultimately tore the nation apart. The events of his presidency serve as a somber reminder of the delicate balance of power and the critical need for effective leadership during times of national crisis. James Buchanan, the 15th President of the United States, assumed office in 1857 at a time of profound national crisis. His presidency is largely remembered, not for any significant achievements, but for its abject failure to prevent the secession of southern states and the outbreak of the Civil War. Buchanan's inaction in the face of escalating sectional tensions cemented his legacy as a president who failed to meet the challenges of his time, a leader who proved woefully inadequate to the momentous events unfolding before him. His administration is a stark reminder of the consequences of political indecisiveness and a failure to confront difficult truths. Buchanan, a Democrat from Pennsylvania, inherited a nation deeply fractured along sectional lines. The issue of slavery, far from being resolved, had become even more deeply entrenched, fueling bitter disputes and escalating tensions. The Kansas-Nebraska Act, passed during the previous administration, had further inflamed the situation, resulting in violent clashes between pro-slavery and anti-slavery forces in Kansas. The Supreme Court's Dred Scott decision of 1857, declaring that enslaved people were not citizens and had no right to sue in federal court, added fuel to the already raging fire, further polarizing the nation. Buchanan, a man known for his caution and his desire to avoid conflict, adopted a policy of appeasement, hoping to somehow maintain the fragile Union through compromise. He believed that forceful action would only exacerbate tensions and lead to further division. This approach, however, proved tragically ineffective. His attempts at compromise failed to address the fundamental issues at the heart of the conflict, and his inaction emboldened those who sought to dissolve the Union. The failure of compromise was not due solely to Buchanan's indecisiveness. The deep-seated divisions within the nation had already reached a point where compromise was no longer a viable option. The conflicting interests of the North and the South were irreconcilable, fueled by differing economic systems, social structures, and moral beliefs. The issue of slavery was not merely a political question. It was a matter of fundamental values and beliefs, deeply intertwined with the very fabric of American society. Buchanan's belief that the Constitution protected slavery in the territories, coupled with his reluctance to confront the southern states, further alienated the North. His administration's response to the secession crisis was widely criticized as weak and ineffective, contributing to the growing sense of national disunity. The president's failure to take decisive action to prevent the secession of Southern states only served to accelerate the unraveling of the Union. He failed to effectively enforce federal laws, allowing the Southern states to effectively defy the authority of the federal government with impunity. The secession of South Carolina in December 1860, followed by the secession of other Southern states, marked a turning point in American history. Buchanan's administration, paralyzed by indecision and a lack of coherent strategy, proved incapable of stemming the tide of secession. His attempts at negotiation and compromise proved futile as the Southern states proceeded with their plans to form their own independent nation, the Confederate States of America. Buchanan's legacy is indelibly stained by his failure to prevent the Civil War. His presidency stands as a cautionary tale of the dangers of inaction in the face of a national crisis. His attempts at compromise, driven by a misguided belief in appeasement, ultimately proved ineffective in preventing the dissolution of the Union. His administration's failure to effectively address the fundamental issues contributing to the crisis paved the way for the nation's bloodiest conflict, a tragic consequence of political indecision and a failure to confront the deep-seated divisions that ultimately tore the nation apart. The events of his presidency serve as a somber reminder of the profound consequences of political inaction in the face of a national crisis and the critical need for strong, decisive leadership during times of national division. His presidency remains a stark reminder that avoiding conflict is not always the best course of action, and that sometimes decisive action is necessary to preserve the integrity of a nation. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, remains one of the most revered and studied figures in American history. His presidency, coinciding with the tumultuous years of the Civil War, indelibly shaped the nation's destiny and cemented his place as a towering figure of American leadership. But before the weight of the presidency fell upon his shoulders, Lincoln's life was a testament to perseverance, self-improvement, and a deep commitment to the principles of democracy and equality. Born in a humble log cabin in Kentucky in 1809, Lincoln's early life was far from privileged. His family struggled with poverty, and his formal education was limited. Yet, Lincoln possessed an insatiable thirst for knowledge, devouring books and educating himself through relentless self-study. He worked as a rail splitter, flatboatman, and postmaster, gaining valuable life experiences and honing his natural intellect and keen observation skills. These early experiences instilled in him a deep understanding of the common man and a profound empathy for the struggles of ordinary people. Lincoln's early political career began in Illinois, where he served in the state legislature and later in the U.S. House of Representatives. He rose through the ranks of the Whig Party, developing a reputation as a skilled debater and a thoughtful politician. His famous Lincoln-Douglas debates with Stephen Douglas in 1858, although ultimately unsuccessful in securing him a Senate seat, catapulted him to national prominence and established him as a leading figure in the burgeoning Republican Party. The year 1860 witnessed a pivotal moment in American history: Lincoln's election to the presidency. His victory, achieved without a single Southern electoral vote, signaled a profound shift in the nation's political landscape. Lincoln's election, though a triumph for the Republicans and their anti-slavery platform, triggered a chain of events that ultimately led to the secession of Southern states and the outbreak of the Civil War. The Southern states, fearing the abolition of slavery and the erosion of their political power, saw Lincoln's election as a direct threat to their way of life and their very existence. The secession crisis unfolded rapidly after Lincoln's election. South Carolina was the first state to secede from a union in December 1860, followed by other Southern states in quick succession. Buchanan's administration, paralyzed by indecision and a lack of effective action, failed to prevent the unraveling of the nation. Lincoln, inheriting this monumental crisis upon his inauguration in March 1861, faced an unprecedented challenge. The nation was on the brink of collapse, and the question of whether the Union could be preserved hung precariously in the balance. Lincoln's approach to the secession crisis was marked by a combination of firmness and pragmatism. He sought to preserve the Union, but he also understood the complexities of the situation and the deeply entrenched divisions within the nation. He made it clear that he would not initiate war, but he also vowed to defend federal property and uphold the authority of the federal government. The attack on Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor on April 12, 1861, marked the beginning of the Civil War. Lincoln's immediate response was to call for 75,000 volunteers to suppress the rebellion and preserve the Union. This action formally plunged the nation into a bloody conflict that would test the very foundations of American democracy. The early years of the Civil War were marked by a series of Union defeats and setbacks. The Confederate Army, initially enjoying a significant advantage, inflicted several stinging defeats on the Union forces. Lincoln faced intense pressure from various factions within his own party and the public at large. Yet, he persevered, demonstrating unwavering resolve and a deep commitment to the cause of preserving the Union. He skillfully navigated the complex political landscape, managing conflicting interests and maintaining public morale, despite the mounting casualties and the seemingly endless conflict. His unwavering belief in the Union's cause, his inspiring rhetoric, and his skillful political maneuvering were instrumental in keeping the Union together. He possessed a remarkable ability to connect with the American people, inspiring them to persevere despite the grim realities of the conflict. He understood the importance of public opinion and skillfully utilized his communication skills to rally support for the war effort, even in the face of adversity. Lincoln's early years in office were a testament to his leadership abilities, his strength of character, and his unwavering determination to preserve the Union and ultimately abolish slavery. His ability to navigate the complexities of the war, while maintaining a focus on preserving the Union and eventually ending slavery, laid the groundwork for his success in the later years of the conflict. His early actions set the stage for the transformative events that would define his presidency and shape the course of American history. As the Civil War raged on, Lincoln's leadership continued to be tested. The early years of the conflict had been marked by Union setbacks and mounting casualty. Issued in January 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation declared that all slaves in Confederate-held territory were to be freed. This bold move was not only a moral imperative, but also a strategic one. By freeing the slaves, Lincoln aimed to weaken the Confederacy's military capacity and bolster the Union's cause both domestically and internationally. The proclamation didn't immediately free all slaves in the United States, as it didn't apply to border states that remained loyal to the Union, but it was a crucial step toward the eventual abolition of slavery. The Emancipation Proclamation was a turning point in the war, but the path to victory remained long and arduous. Battles continued to rage across the nation, testing the endurance and resolve of both sides. Amidst the turmoil and bloodshed, Lincoln found time to deliver one of the most enduring and impactful speeches in American history, the Gettysburg Address. The address, concise yet profound, resonated deeply with the American people and became a defining statement of the nation's commitment to liberty and equality. He envisioned a process of reconciliation that would heal the wounds of the war and ensure a lasting peace. His second inaugural address, delivered just weeks before his assassination, reflected this vision of a nation striving for unity and healing. Tragically, Lincoln's vision would never be fully realized. On April 14, 1865, just days after the end of the Civil War, he was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. His death plunged the nation into mourning and robbed the country of a transformative leader. The assassination of Lincoln marked a pivotal moment in American history, leaving a profound void in the nation's leadership at a time of great change and uncertainty. Lincoln's legacy extends far beyond his presidency. His enduring impact is felt not only in the abolition of slavery and the preservation of the Union, but also in the very fabric of American identity. He remains a powerful symbol of hope and resilience, reminding us of the enduring strength of the human spirit and the potential for progress even in the darkest of times. From the revolutionary leadership of George Washington, laying the foundations of a new nation, to the tumultuous presidency of Abraham Lincoln, navigating the nation through its greatest crisis, we've witnessed a tapestry of personalities, decisions, and legacies that have shaped the very fabric of American history. Each president, in their own way, contributed to the ongoing narrative of the United States. Some, like Washington and Jefferson, were visionaries, shaping the ideals and institutions that would define the nation's character. Others, like Madison and Monroe, guided the young nation through critical periods of expansion and international relations. Still others, like Jackson and Polk, left behind legacies both celebrated and debated, marked by strong personalities and decisive actions that continue to spark conversation and analysis today. The presidencies we've explored weren't simply a series of isolated events. They were interconnected chapters in the unfolding story of a nation grappling with its identity, its purpose, and its place in the world. We've seen the tensions between states' rights and federal power play out in the presidencies of early leaders, laying the groundwork for the ultimate showdown that would come with the Civil War. We've witnessed the gradual evolution of the nation's political landscape, the rise and fall of political parties, and the ongoing struggle to balance competing interests and ideals. The first 18 presidents faced a remarkable range of challenges. They navigated the complexities of establishing a new government, expanding westward, dealing with international conflicts, and grappling with the deeply divisive issue of slavery. Their responses to these challenges, both successes and failures, have helped to define the American experience and continue to inform our understanding of the nation's past and present. Consider the monumental task of establishing a functioning government from scratch. Washington, the first president, faced the daunting challenge of creating a stable and effective system of governance in the midst of unprecedented circumstances. His leadership set a precedent for future presidents and established many of the norms and traditions that continue to this day. Subsequent presidents built upon this foundation, further developing the institutions and processes of American government. The expansion westward also presented significant challenges and opportunities. Presidents like Jefferson, Monroe, and Polk oversaw the acquisition of vast territories, leading to westward expansion and the growth of the nation. This expansion, however, came at a cost with the displacement and disenfranchisement of Native American populations. This complex legacy continues to be debated and analyzed, highlighting the enduring tensions between national progress and the rights of indigenous peoples. The issue of slavery cast a long shadow over the entire period we've examined. While some presidents attempted to address the issue, others chose to avoid it, leading to an ever-increasing polarization and ultimately the devastating Civil War. Lincoln's presidency stands as a pivotal moment in this ongoing struggle, marking a turning point in the fight for equality and justice for all. His legacy serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring struggle for freedom and the importance of unwavering commitment to the principles of democracy. Looking back at the collective contributions of these 18 presidents, it's clear that they shaped the United States into the nation it is today. Their actions, their decisions, and their legacies continue to resonate in our modern world. Their lives, often complex and contradictory, reveal the human element behind the historical narratives, reminding us that the making of a nation is a process driven by the ambitions, flaws, and ultimately, the choices of individuals. As we conclude our exploration of the first 18 presidents, it's important to remember that history is not simply a collection of facts and dates, but a story of human experience. It's a story of progress and setbacks, of triumphs and failures, of visionaries and pragmatists. The legacies of these men, both positive and negative, are interwoven into the fabric of American identity, shaping our understanding of the nation's past and influencing its future. Their collective impact continues to shape the political, social, and cultural landscape of the United States, reminding us of the enduring power of leadership, the complexity of nation-building, and the ongoing journey toward a more perfect union. Their stories, though concluded, continue to echo through the corridors of time, inspiring reflection, debate, and a deeper understanding of the American experiment. And so, we close this chapter acknowledging the profound influence of these 18 men on the course of American history, leaving us to contemplate their lasting impact and the enduring legacy they have left behind.